Hello, if you want nice pure drinking water for your family, which is inexpensive, and also you don't want to sacrifice space in your kitchen to an RO unit, then this is the video for you. We used to drink bottled water because the stuff that comes out of the tap isn't particularly nice, so we bought bottled water, used to cart it around, plastic bottles everywhere, pain in the neck. We've had an RO system now for about 14 months. It's absolutely brilliant, we love it, and it was actually quite cheap too, and also the replacement filters are cheap, which I'll talk about later. And to save space, I fitted it under the kickboard or plinth or whatever you want to call it of the kitchen, so it doesn't take up room. Underneath here we have our recycling. I didn't want to sacrifice this space, you know, we've got the tabs for the dishwasher, plastic bags, blah blah blah, so I wanted to take up not very much space in there. The only thing that's in there is just the accumulator there. Everything else is underneath here, so I'll just show you that now. Just remove the kick plate. Now bear in mind, this is going to look very complicated and you'll think, oh my goodness, I would never know how to do that. But don't worry, it's actually really easy. So let me just show you how this works first of all. It hasn't had any drips, but I thought if anything's going to leak, it's going to be at a filter here. So I just put the top of the filters into the drip tray so that any potential drips would not go on the laminate floor. And that has worked out really well. I'm going to pull this out for you and then we'll have a better look. Here we are then, this is our mess of a system. I know it looks awful, but it doesn't matter because it lives underneath the kitchen. Nobody ever sees it apart from when I'm changing the filters or making a video for the entire world to watch. Anyway, so basically all you do is you dismount the parts from the metal bracket, and then you can bend the metal bracket down just so that it will slide underneath your kitchen, and then you can do this with it. So basically the way this works is that I've got long hoses on things so that I can take the filters up, put them on the sink, and then I can replace the filters, and the water during that process just goes down the sink. So it's really quite convenient. In order to do this, all you do is you just buy some of this 1/4-inch pipe. When you buy your RO kit, you buy an extra section of pipe, maybe 10 meters or whatever. And then as you're taking these off the metal bracket, you just replace each of the short hoses with a longer hose, one at a time. So even if you're not really very good at plumbing or knowing how all these things work, you just do one at a time, and then you can manage to kind of have this system yourself. We've had our filters in there for 14 months now, which is longer than recommended, but it is still working. If I get tap water, this is a TDS meat, you can get them, I'll put a link in the description, they're very cheap. 568 ppm, that is not good. 500 or less is what you're looking for nice drinking water, and it does taste pretty horrible, that water. If I get our RO water, our RO water is 47 ppm. So much better. And just out of interest, I've got some bottled water here, purely for testing purposes. Let's see what this is. 243 ppm, so parts per million. That's the total dissolved solids in the water. So this tastes awful, this tastes pretty good. The RO water tastes amazing. Quick note on the drip tray, this is actually the lid of a Tupperware container. It wouldn't fit underneath the kitchen, so I heated it with a heat gun and just bent it up. That is still watertight, so the water can kind of sit and pool in there and it doesn't drip out of a corner. So simple, but it works. Here's the new sediment filter, and that is the old one after 14 months. Nice. Now just lift this down and reposition everything, turn everything on, do a leak check, and then when I'm happy that there are no drips, I can put this to bed. This filter kit was 33 euros. I'll put the US dollars on screen as well. And the actual RO kit, the entire kit that came with a set of filters and everything. So we've got beautiful clean water all year round, and it's 33 euros a year-ish in ongoing maintenance costs. So very cheap, you don't need to pay a company to supply this stuff for you, you can just do it yourself. I've been running the pump for a wee while just to flush through the carbon filters, etc. And now, there we are, we're on 31 ppm. This is direct from the pump because I haven't opened the valve going to the accumulator or the storage tank, whatever you want to call it. So that is just product water coming straight through. So yeah, 31 ppm. Lovely. Really nice water. Now 31 ppm is almost like distilled water. There's really almost nothing in it. So if you want to remineralize it, you can just get a tiny little bit of salt, sea salt preferably. Stick that in there. You can't taste it, but that's enough to give it some minerals. And just out of interest, if I check the TDS of that, that's gone up to 290, and it was just a few little grains of salt that I put in the bottom there. So there you go.
Salt is not as bad for you as they say, actually.
So I've turned off the tap to build up the pressure, so the pressure's at the maximum now. And I have been doing some careful checks. There are no drips. Everything's all nice and dry, so I don't have to worry about my wooden floor now. I can slide this back in. Now I know this looks extraordinarily untidy, but actually it's really quite handy to have it like this because the gap there isn't very big. So when you get to the stage of putting this in, if you were to build all this onto a board and make it all nice and neat and tidy, that would look good, but it would be less practical because you'd struggle to get it in anywhere. There we go then. With everything loose like that, you can move everything around as you need to get them into the tight space there. And you can move things around if you want to clean under there, etc. So it's actually quite convenient. There you go then, that's how we get our water in our kitchen. This is a 3-way tap that you can buy to match your kind of kitchen. The kit originally came with a little tap that we used initially as a separate RO tap, and then when I got around to it, I bought the 3-way tap instead. I hope you found this video useful. Give us a thumbs up if you did, and subscribe to my channel for more helpful videos on random subjects. I'll see you in the next one, and until then, don't forget, never bow down to tyranny and love life.